my first time ever meeting Doug DeMuro. You know that Doug's a little off the wall and like a little unfiltered, as far as like, his takes, especially when the cameras are off, and like he'll say zany things and like almost like Seinfeldian kind of observations with a little bit of that kind of stuff. So his behavior is somewhat that on YouTube, but then in person, joking around with his friends, it's next level of observations. Like we were having dinner and he's like commenting on the dinner and the weird things about it, the quirks and features of dinner and stuff. So I had worked with him for, 6 months or a year. I had followed him from Jalopnik over to AutoTrader. I begged him to hire me at AutoTrader and like send him a cold email. And he was kind enough to get me on to write with him on AutoTrader. At the time, I hadn't really done many YouTube videos yet. But we're 6 months or a year in. And I'm in New York for something. And I know he's in Philadelphia, which is relatively close. And he said, let's meet up in Princeton, New Jersey and have dinner. So I'd drive down. I had a rental car. I think like I was making fun of a Mercedes CLA rental car, sort of like what I do today, rent something on Turo or whatever. And on Turo, you can make fun of someone else's car because you're renting it versus like having to take a dealership's car and say nice things about all that stuff. So we meet in Princeton, New Jersey, and I'm with my girlfriend at the time. And the first thing out of Doug's mouth, he's like, to gay men, you are very handsome. I had this gay friend that thinks you are the most attractive car YouTuber on the planet. And if you are single and interested in men, he would date you in an instant. Are you single and interested in men? My girlfriend's sitting right here, like with me. And like,
did he knew that you were in the relationship? Or?
Yes. Like this is his opener to like his icebreaker with me, or first meeting, and then he through the night, it's like, I bet just making little jokes about this gay man thinking I'm so beautiful that he's friends with, and the little innuendo is there and things like that. Like this is very odd. Like this is very strange. And obviously we're having great car conversations, all that stuff, but he's so fixated on his gay friend that it finds me hot. And then we get and we leave and my girlfriend at the time, I was like, that was really weird. And it actually made her like uncomfortable because like, hello, I'm sitting here, I exist. And like he says 2 times that he mentioned it. It was at least 4 or 5 times where he would circle back to it as a joke, and I'm playing along, and maybe I exited on a little bit. I was like, so like, okay, that's nice, but I don't remember exactly. But for whatever reason, that was my first encounter in person with Doug DeMuro, and it's a working relationship where he's kind of my boss. So it was very odd. Obviously we're close and we get along and text and all that stuff. So when he started telling these stories about me, I was like, okay. And I texted him. I said, I'm doing the revenge story. And I'm doing this. And he's, so there, I got it out. So I got you back, Doug. Jeez.
Didn't he used to pretend to be a wealthy buyer on
yes.
Ferrari chat?
That was before I knew him. That was before I knew him. But yeah, he didn't have any cars, and he's like in high school or college or whatever, and pretended to have every single rare Ferrari allocation and talk about what it was like to own them and drive them and all that stuff. That was before I knew him. I was a fan of his from Jalopnik and loved his writing and wanted to sort of emulate him because I was sort of doing similar things, but at a cheaper level. Well, back when he was doing like the CarMax Range Rover that really put him on the map, I bought a Range Rover for less than a CarMax warranty and then tried to fix it. So I was doing it on his vein, 4 articles for writing, and it wasn't doing videos at the time. So he was the one who encouraged me to do YouTube videos along with my articles, and that was the explosion point for me. Was sort of riding Doug's coattails with that and being encouraged by that because I was getting paid for the article. And so doing a video along with it made sense. And that's what gave me like the discipline to write 2 articles a week. And then I would just do a video talking about whatever I said in the article, like about my own cars or something else. And that's how my YouTube channel started. So I have Doug to thank for that.
But you did mention that you've made some changes that have immediately rewarded you with a higher quality of life. What were those changes you did?
I sold some things to where I have a bit of a cushion, and that helped. But it's just a matter of like, now I've gotten through all these obligations that I said that I was going to do, like show up to this wonderful podcast, which I would love to do anyway. So, but then now that I'm through with all these obligations, I know like, okay, I've gotten myself through the home renovation, through the taxes, through all the dumb stuff that I did. I've gotten myself through all of it. I've come out, I've survived, and now it's back to building up a war chest, doing some responsible things. I don't need the help Hoovie 12 at gmail.com or something like that. But I'm there's going to be a cushion there, and then there's going to be an ability to say no. There's not going to be me selling 6 brand deals in a month or 8 brand deals to where I know I have to make 8 videos and hustle to do that. And I don't need to say yes to every single travel opportunity and be on 20 flights in 30 days, which you guys are tough on that too. I can imagine with your podcast, a lot of traveling and meeting with people, that's what you have to do. But man, airlines are just so soul sucking. And that, like, I think I had my first ever, thought I was having a heart attack, but I think it was a nervous breakdown on a flight because I bought the Gull Wing and I had a film crew to film this Gull Wing thing, and the flight was delayed. And I was going to miss this film crew that I already paid for and miss this opportunity with the car all blown apart, like in 1,000 pieces. And the people at the Classic Center were waiting for me to get this car together in 3 days to where I could go to a rally. And because I'm stuck in this plane because the catering didn't show up on this thing and it missed a connection or whatever. And it's just like, I don't need to do that to myself. So, and then just being slowing down. Also getting like lab work done and things. And I think all the stress definitely lowered my testosterone a lot. As I say, like when it releases a bunch of cortisol, it lowers your testosterone, and that gives you the brain fog and all that stuff. And like things are just harder and droopy and all that stuff. So like I hadn't seen a doctor in years, as far not just to like get me checked out. I'm healthy, I'm reasonably fit, but I like the brain fog and the tiredness, the fatigue and everything, and then just making these stupid mistakes and the impatience. And it's just slowing down. And I have all the pieces of a wonderful life, and there's so much to appreciate. There's, compared to where I was, just everything's in place for things to be amazing, and it's time to start enjoying it. And that is just like a switch flip.
It absolutely does start with a mentality, though, too. Like the mentality is the first thing to change that will actually make a real impact in your life. And you know what that reminded me of is I would find it difficult for me to find myself in that same position because I have so many people in my life that tell me no. Like if I'm going to do something that's like, hey, like I'm going to exhaust myself, my mom will be like, don't burn the candle at both ends. Or I'll be like, Graham, should I do this? He's like, no. Or I'll even say, hey, I'm going to do this. And Graham just says, no, don't do that. Right. He won't be like, oh, interesting. Why? Like people will just straight up tell me no.
Jack I remember this. You got upset when you wanted to walk 100 miles, or it was like walking from Vegas to LA. And you were excited about it. And I was like, Jack, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. That's dumb. Why would you do that? I shot it down. I didn't even give a word of encouragement. Not a single like, oh, that's interesting. Why would you want to do that? Nothing.
Guess what I did then?
He did it.
I did it, and I loved it. So like that was one of the things where I stuck to my guns. But a lot of the times, like I do have people in my life where if I say something, they're like, absolutely not. And I think that helps. And I don't know if you have people that you're receptive to some sort of criticism. Like if you have a best friend that's like, hey, I noticed you've been a little bit like, why don't you go see a doctor? Why don't you?
No, I mean, the marrying April has been an amazing support system for all that. And since she comes from this level of entertainment and media and all that stuff and all the things that she's accomplished in her life, she understands and gets it, so that helps a lot. But I think a lot of it was also me just wanting to not decline as far as the views, wanting to stay relevant, wanting to continue to grow. And it's been 10 years, man. Like what do I have left to prove? What do I need to accomplish? Why do I need to chase Tavares into his level of insanity, or you try and keep up with Matt Armstrong that's rebuilding an exotic every single week? Like why? Like they can continue to do that for as long as they want, and eventually, and of course they're exploding and doing incredible right now, and it's their moment in the sun. Why can't I don't have to be that guy all the time forever. It's not necessary. And chasing clout and chasing all that, I put way too much focus on basically staying relevant and still having clout. It doesn't matter.
So have you made this change already, or is this like the last thing you're doing before making the change?
This is it. That's why I said this is sort of the last stop. And then I've just decided that I'm going to limit myself and keep myself like focus on the videos like that are going to make me happy and put out videos that I want to put out rather than ones like, okay, I have to get a video out because I have this sponsor for this, this, and this. So the ones that I really like that have been with me for a long time, I'll stick with them. The ones that are a little edgy and like, oh man, do I really want to say yes to that? And I haven't done too many of those. It's just the sheer quantity of it.
It's really hard to turn that off. I've told myself the same thing so many times, and I get a little better at it. But then some opportunity comes up, and I'm like, well, I can't say no to that.
I know.
And then I do it, and then something else comes up that's equally as good. I'm like, well, I can't say no to that. And then another thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I would be dumb not to do these things because what else am I going to do otherwise? And then I just load up.
Yeah. But for YouTube, for me with the car stuff, because there's other YouTubers that are doing so much more now in their content. It's much longer. It's not 10 or 15 minutes videos for car YouTube. It is 30, 45 minute videos where you're doing so much in one video. And I have to get these out for the sponsors. I have to cut it off here before there's like a good payoff. Before like, okay, we know everything that's wrong. Let's try and fix one thing, or you know.
Yeah, but that you can negotiate in.
It's not the placement. It's I have to post 6 videos a month, and so I have to get this video out, and I can't delay it. I can't. If I don't, so I have to like, okay, it's going to take a week for this part to come in. I can't delay the video because I have the sponsor obligation. So I have to get the video out, even though it's like, okay, this isn't like, and especially with cars, that nothing ever really goes to plan, and things can go sideways, and it doesn't work out. Like you have a plan to do this today with this car, and it doesn't go right, but you want to persevere, and that's where Tavares, Freddie, he goes 3 months without posting because he knows. When I post, it needs to be an event, and people will tune in because, oh my God, Tavares just posted a video. It's an update on his P1. It's not going to be him sitting and just twiddling his thumb. He's going to do something real. And I need to do that. But also, I also want to do something that I enjoy. And if it's 6 sponsors or 7, 8 sponsors, then I'm like racking my brain. Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Versus like the creativity, the organic, like, of just like letting opportunities present themselves and letting cool things, but rather than having to just create it or, clickbait or whatever, to just get people to tune in to watch me standing in my garage flailing, talking about like, here's my collection and here's everything that's broken this month. And like, I want it to be how it was before, where it was real, but also I know I have to do more in the videos to do well. So